Right. Today we've got. Well, what is this? What is this? This is the new Aquila Pro AI smart mesh Wi-Fi system from D-Link. So they brought us the Eagle Pro last year, and that's where we sort of got the introduction of these sort of new colours. So the sort of pale blue and white design. They sort of modernised things a little bit. But now, as you can see, this is quite a different shape. And it's something to do with how they've set up the antenna inside there. They claim that they've created a spherical transmission zone, which is obviously if you're trying to get your Wi-Fi from one floor to another, or you're putting it on a low shelf and you don't want to have to put it on a high shelf, because traditionally you've got to put your Wi-Fi routers up high for the best reception. And I guess what they're suggesting with 360-degree spherical coverage, unquote, that might not necessarily have to be a thing. Anyway, other than that, it's very similar to the other mesh Wi-Fi systems that we've seen from D-Link in recent years. So it comes in a 2-pack or a 3-pack, and you can add other ones, onto it. The advantage when you go D-Link over some of the other mesh systems is that each station, has your internet input, but then 4 gigabit Ethernet outputs as well. So you can actually hardwire devices, into each station. It does, often you've got like a base unit and then an extender unit, and the extender unit often doesn't have the same options. Here, both units are exactly the same in this 2-pack that I've been sent, and they would be in the 3-pack as well. You literally just set one up first, and then the other one automatically connects once you've set that first one up. The setup process was a little bit cumbersome, I've got to say, and this is because for some reason D-Link has got itself into this real mess with its apps right now, and every time it brings out a new model of home Wi-Fi networking device, it seems to bring out a new app to go with it. It used to be the case where you had a sort of a My D-Link app, and that was the way you set up your D-Link devices. And now, like when we had the Eagle Pro routers, there was an Eagle Pro app for those. Now there's an Aquila Pro specific app, and they all work more or less the same way, and they all take far too long. It's a very, very long process while the device reboots and starts up again, and you think it's not working, and then it does work and all that sort of thing. Now, it's time to refresh that system, and I would really like to see D-Link go back to sort of unifying it all under one app. I don't understand, because then you've got one app for things like security cameras, maybe as well as your Wi-Fi router. That would just make more sense to me. But anyway, what do I know? But yeah, the router itself, as you can see, it's very cool. It takes up hardly any space on your shelf, and actually looks like a sort of a piece of art. Looks a bit like a stingray, doesn't it? When I showed you before those Ethernet ports on the back, you may have noticed that we don't just have the WPS button there for your quick pairing. We've also got another button over here, and this is something I love about D-Link devices. So if I just hold that up to the camera and shade some of the light off it, there we go. So you can see there's a big status light in the middle of the front of this, but D-Link lets you turn that light off. Now, you can do it in that app that I was just talking about, but now you can also, if I just shade it again and push the button on the back, you see we've turned it off manually. So you can literally just go up to the router and turn that light off, and then it won't bother you, because if you're anything like me, lights like that bother you, especially when I've got the main device sitting in my TV unit, and so I would be looking straight at that light instead of at my TV. But yeah, so D-Link lets you turn that off. I know it's a funny little thing, but I think it's a cool thing because some devices out there have all sorts of flashing lights that you don't need, and it's great to be able to turn those off at will. Other than that, it provides good coverage. Certainly, if you've got two of them, that'll get you coverage around a really good sized house, and three of them will give you a bit of that outdoor coverage as well. Certainly, once they're connected to each other and paired to each other, I haven't had any problems there. The only question I have is I've had some weird experiences with testing the speed on it. So I haven't actually had any problem using devices that are connected to it. But if I just do a speed test on this right now, so we'll just go to the Chorus website and run a speed test. You'll see, like I'm holding the phone, and I'm presume that I'm connected to this thing because I'm right next to it, and those download speeds of 66 megabytes per second, that's okay, but it's nothing startling. Sometimes it goes up over 100. I mean, I've got gigabit connectivity coming off that main base unit, so I would have expected a little bit more. For some reason, I always seem to get higher upload speeds at my address. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, maybe that's just something to do with network traffic at the moment. I don't know. Like I say, I haven't had any problems, streaming stuff, using computers connected to it, using devices connected to it. All of that seems pretty solid. All my IoT devices seem to work pretty well. So the major thing here is that it's a form factor upgrade more than anything else. It looks different. And they with these new antennae inside, they claim they're achieving this 360-degree spherical coverage. But other than that, it works fairly similar to the AI Pros that we saw last year. That mesh system. This is still Wi-Fi 6. It's not Wi-Fi 6E or even Wi-Fi 7. We have started to see one or two Wi-Fi 7 networking devices come out, although there aren't that many devices that will connect to a Wi-Fi 7 router yet. Only some of the very latest phones are capable of that. But yeah, so it's kind of 1.5 generations of Wi-Fi behind, but it's still going to be plenty for most people's needs and for what most devices demand. But certainly, if you want a router or two routers or three routers around your house that look really cool, the D-Link Aquila Pro might be the one to do it.